Croeso all, welcome back. This video is part of a series where I travel all the way from here in South Wales to Kazakhstan. I've been inspired by shows like Race Across the World and countless YouTube series, so I'm doing it the scenic way. And what that basically means is I'm trying to avoid flying wherever possible. Why am I doing this? Well, for football. Wales are playing in Kazakhstan on the 4th of September and I'm going to be there. And I thought it was too long of a way to avoid all of the fantastic places in between, so I'm going to try and check them out along the way. The distance between Bari and Astana in Kazakhstan is 4,000 miles. I've planned a very rough route, which is basically just heading east, which means that I'm going to be passing through all of Europe, across the length of Turkey, up into the Caucasus, and then hopefully across the Caspian Sea into Kazakhstan. If you want to catch up live, then I'll leave a link to my social media in the video description, and I'll be posting more regular daily uploads, sort of catch-up videos on there. So if you're new to the channel and you want to check out this series from the start, I'm going to leave a link in the description to the first video of the series, and you can start from there. Just a quick one to say, subscribing really does help me a lot. But for now, we're in Belgrade. We're in Serbia's capital, and over the next couple of days, we're going to be exploring the Stari Grad, the old town, and also Novi Beograd, New Belgrade, a communist architecture lover's paradise. We're going to take in both sides of the city. We're going to see the beauty and the brutalism, and probably a bit of football and some beers along the way as well. So, as I've got a few days in Belgrade, and it's incredibly hot here at the moment. It's 36 Celsius at the moment, and it is humid as well. So if you see me looking like a beetroot and sweating later, then that's the reason why. But yeah, the way that we're going to do this is today I'm going to explore the Stari Grad, the old city, and then tomorrow, with the help of a local pal, we're going to explore Novi Beograd, the new city, where all of the communist architecture from the Yugoslav days are. So, that being said, first stop of today is the largest Orthodox church in Europe. This is the Church of Saint Sava, and is incredibly impressive. I don't know, there's something about Orthodox churches, they really, I don't know whether it's the candles or the gold, or maybe just the smell of incense, but there is something really quite special about them actually, and that one was incredible. So yeah, not going to hang around here too long. It is packed with tourists. I found like the most quiet spot. I think there's a couple of those river cruises in. So I did see like a line of like 8 or 10 coaches parked up down on the street. So yeah, we're gonna move along, and we're gonna sort of take a walk up through Belgrade, up to what should be the most scenic point, where we're overlooking the two rivers, hopefully. Let's just hope I don't overheat and melt into a puddle. Well, from what I've heard, it's a very good museum, but I am making the decision not to visit today, which is unlike me, because usually I'm a shoo-in for any kind of museum. But the queue is out the door and onto the steps outside the front of the building. It's 36 degrees, and I don't want to just sit there for like half an hour in the sun. I think that's probably a silly idea, and I'm sure it'd be really interesting. But I don't know, physics is not my passion, and I don't really know that much about I mean, I know a bit about Nikola Tesla, but less than I'd probably want to make the most out of that, you know. But look, it is what it is. It would have been interesting to go to and kind of learn from, but also I'm not gonna sit on the steps for an hour queuing to get in. Well, this, our second church of the day, is the St. Mark's Church. This one was only built in 1940, would you believe? But again, very, very impressive, very large. Lots of things here in Belgrade are very big, and it's because it is a big city. Depending on who you ask, it's got 1.5, 2 million people. It's without doubt the biggest city in the Balkans, and it feels big. Coming from Slovenia and Croatia, there's nothing on a comparable size to this. It feels like a metropolis, you know. Anyway, we're gonna head inside now because they've got some interesting things inside, apparently, from my brief Google. So yeah, we'll do that now. And this sarcophagus is quite important to Serbs. This is the remains of King Dusan. King Dusan ruled Serbia in the 1300s and ruled Serbia when it was at its largest as well. Yeah, I would say it was at least 15 degrees cooler in there than it is outside. Much needed relief. Well, our next stop is a very different tone to our previous ones. This is the former Serbian TV centre, and I say former because in 1999 it was bombed by NATO, and they've kept it like this as a reminder to their people. And it's got to be said, it is very thought-provoking. We've got some more stuff like that tomorrow in New Belgrade. So rather than the stuff here in the old town, most of that sort of stuff, a lot of the talking points we'll cover tomorrow. So that'll be a little bit later in this video, just because I'm going to keep it linear. So we're going to carry on with our day now, and we're going to move slightly further up towards Republic Square. And welcome to the Republic Square here in Belgrade. Behind me here is a statue of a man on a horse, which means that we are really in Eastern Europe. And behind that is the National Museum of Serbia, which apparently is a fantastic museum, and I might pay a visit to later depending on how quickly we manage to get everything done. This statue is of Prince Mihailo, and he's got a statue here because I believe he is the person who defeated the Ottomans. And then this nice building here is the National Theatre as well. Large parts of Belgrade's city centre is pedestrianised, and that's really handy for me as a tourist because it means I don't have to worry about getting run over. This area is like the shopping centre, and it's pretty similar to anywhere else in Europe, really. Like I said, fairly similar to the rest of Europe. Big name brands, the classic shopping street in any European city, to be honest. However, down the end of this street is a fortress, and apparently from the fortress you get the best views over the city and over the two rivers. So we're going to head there now. Well, here we are then, guys. This is the fortress behind me, and just outside of the fortress is this massive garden. It's really quite nice in here. There's loads of nature, squirrels, things like that. It stretches like all the way back there, down to where the shopping streets are, basically. So we're going to go and take a wander around. It's free to go in, which is good. Yeah, we'll take a look inside and see what it's like. Well, one of the first things you see when you walk in that first gate is all of this. Similar to that open-air museum that we saw in Croatia, the Serbs have their own. All weaponry and artillery from various wars in the past decades. There's some more over this side too. Remember that view that I've been talking about? Well, here we are. Ready for it? Not bad, eh? So this river closest here, that is the Sava, and then that big one over there and that one by there, they're both parts of the Danube. You get a pretty good view across to New Belgrade, Novi Beograd. That's all this section by here, all the communist era tower blocks. We're going to be going over there tomorrow and we're going to be exploring that properly. Like I've said, it's an incredibly scenic spot down here. And then also down here is this statue. And the statue signifies the Serb victory in the Balkan Wars. Under slightly different weather circumstances, I'd have stayed there and taken in the view for much longer than I did. But like I've already said, it's probably 36, 38 Celsius today, and it's very hot. And it's why there is no one out and about, or at least not stood in direct sunlight. Everyone is hiding in the shade or in cafes or things like that, because it is really warm. Well, I'm not sure how the family would feel if I bought their Christmas socks here. There are some interesting characters on this list, eh? Right then, folks, I just did a couple of hours worth of editing and a bit of work that I needed to get done, because in my time it's upload day today. So yeah, had a little bit to do. And now we're going to go out and get some food and probably a beer or two. There is a cool pedestrianised area that's like a bit bohemian and has lots of like outdoor restaurants and bars and stuff. It's called Stari. So we're going to head there now and yeah, get some food, get some Serbian food, and yeah, see where the night takes us. So this is Skadarska. This is the street with tons of food and bars, basically. Some people might say it's a bit of a tourist trap, but I mean, every tourist wants to come here because this is probably the best street for drinking in the city, from what I've been told. So what do you think then, folks? It looks a good place for a bit of food, some kind of drink or something. We'll go for a little walk through before I settle down and grab a beer somewhere, I think. Goes all the way down the bottom there. So this area by there on the right hand side with the chimney, that used to be a brewery, and now is like an open air kind of food and drinks kind of place. Pretty cool. Yeah, maybe I'll show you in there as well later.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is that former brewery area that I said was all like small bars and restaurants and stuff. I mean, they've stuck a car park in the middle of it, but still, it's pretty cool. Yeah, might come back here later. Just sort of showing you around now while I actually remember. And just like that, it's time for the first football of this trip. This was Partizan Belgrade, and they are playing Hibs in the Europa Conference League. Okay, so as promised this morning, we are the other side of the river and we are exploring Novi Beograd, New Belgrade. And this bit that I'm starting off in really is New Belgrade, because a lot of money has come into Serbia in the last few years through Russia and China, and they're building a whole new district by the looks of it. You can see there's a lot of money here now in this particular area. This impressive building by there is the Federal Executive Council building of the Yugoslavia. It's now called the Palace of Serbia, and government building still is incredibly impressive. So apparently it was built in 1948, and they used Yugoslav youth workers to come and build it for them. I mean, free labour. Can't knock it. But yeah, still a government building today, so you can't go in. But it is enormous. Probably the only building I've seen bigger is the big Parliament building in Bucharest. What's quite striking is the difference between all the Yugoslav architecture by there and then these new modern skyscrapers that they're building by here. Quite a difference, shows the difference between modern Serbia and the past of Yugoslavia.
That skyscraper was originally the headquarters of the Central Committee before it got bombed in '99 and has since been completely renovated.
So this memorial is the eternal flame to the military and civilian casualties of the NATO bombing of Yugoslavia in 1999. NATO bombed Yugoslavia for around 2 months, and the Yugoslavs estimate that around 2,000 civilians were killed and around 6,000 were wounded.
This plaque on the floor signifies where the concentration camp used to stand here during the Second World War. Not much is left.
Well, I can decode some Cyrillic, and I assume that says Memorial Centre. Yeah, so obviously, scan the QR code to find something out. Error page. Pointless. So yeah, this was the site of a Nazi and Croat sympathisers concentration camp. Imprisoned and killed a lot of Jews, a lot of Romani gypsies, and a lot of Serbs too. Right, so there's like a museum here, but obviously it doesn't open on the weekends. It's only open Monday. Fucking hell, that shit me up. Someone over there setting bombs off. Yeah, so as I was saying before that explosion, obviously it only opens 8 until 4 Monday to Friday. Oh well, I'll the thing is with these blocks is similar to the ones we went to in Zagreb, is because they're all custom built and they're built for purpose. They were built with parks and amenities in them, which means even though you're living in a small flat, actually right outside your door is all of this green space. Well, here we are then, folks, the Belgrade Western Gate, the Gen X Tower. Probably the iconic brutalist communist building in Belgrade, even though I don't necessarily think it's the best. I think some of those tower blocks we've just been to probably beat it, I think, but this is definitely the most iconic. To some, an icon of the city, to some, an ugly mess. They are reportedly going to do it up, so I'm quite glad to come here while it's still looking the way it does, a bit authentic. But yeah, we will crack on and we are going to explore this neighbourhood.
Plenty of time for the day.
Right, off for a spot of lunch now. Recommended by a mate showing me around that this is the best place to eat in Novi, Beograd. And just happens to be right next to a football ground, which suits me pretty well.
I like that.
Možda vidi neka stajka da sam vredan.
Arguably one of the best meals I've ever had. Incredibly full though. Yeah, I mean just, yeah, a lot of meat. Fantastic. Quickly detoured to a second tier Serbian game via some beers. Yeah, we got a proper Serbian top flight game with Zvezda later, which should be pretty good.
And now it's time to go and watch Red Star Belgrade.
Okay, so I'm missing kickoff, but it doesn't matter because they won't let me in with a camera, but I'm going to film on my phone.
League, 5th league. Mate, the leagues are fucked.
And with that, it is time to say goodbye to Belgrade, and we're heading on to our next stop, which is the southern Serbian city of Niš. I'm just at the bus station now. I'm going to go and grab my bus to Niš, and then I'll see you there in the next one.